Tanaka!
Hi everyone, coming up. Hi, I'm Michelle Maka. I'm gonna be your moderator for the panel. I do have a few things. This is a Q&A panel, so I'm gonna ask some questions, and then after we're done with my questions, you all can ask your questions. Just make sure you have 2 questions ready to go, just in case one of your questions is not answered, okay? Cool. Now we're gonna welcome the cast of Naruto. Welcome everyone, welcome. So we're just gonna go down the line and we're just going to introduce ourselves, tell us who we play in the show, and give us your favorite line from the show as well.
Yes, let's do that.
It does line starts on the side. Hi, I'm Stephanie Sheh and I voice Hinata. This is Ikuto and he voices Akamaru. No, he does not voice Akamaru. My favorite line, I don't know, man. I think the only thing she ever says is, Naruto.
Pretty good. My name's Doug Erholtz. I play Asuma Sensei and Konkuro. And thank you. And my favorite line of Asuma's is, I give to you my will of fire.
I'm Brian Donovan, and I am the handsome devil of the Hidden Leaf Village.
I'm Rock Lee! I'm Tom Gibis, and I play Shikamaru Nara.
What a drag.
What a drag. Oh, man.
Skip. There we go. I'm Skip Stellrecht, and I play my guy, the magnificent piece of the leaf. Let the power of youth explode!
I am Michael Yurchak. I play the silly side of Toby and Obito Uchiha.
What? I don't believe it.
Kidding.
It's just as I expected. Thanks for the lead-in, buddy. Michael is also the other side of my, another one of my coins. I am Obito with the mask, and he is Obito without the mask. Let's get an Obito without the mask line.
I don't feel pain any longer.
So I'm the masked man, and I am the ghost of the Uchiha, Madara Uchiha.
And I am Joni Oliver. I play Minato, the 4th Hokage. And don't be afraid of death. Be afraid of the unlived life.
Thank you so much. That was so awesome. Can we get one more round of applause for that? That was absolutely amazing. Huge fan of all of your work. Okay, so my first question is going to be, in the age of streaming, the global fandom, what is it like knowing new fans are just now discovering Naruto for the first time?
Oh my God, the pandemic was the best thing to ever happen to anime. For real. Because y'all were sitting at home on your butts, and a lot of people that didn't watch anime were like, hey, why don't we try this anime out for the first time? And that's where we got so many new fans, so thanks, pandemic. I'm just kidding.
I think all of us were a little stunned, to be honest with you, because there was a first wave and then this massive second wave during the pandemic or right after the pandemic. And now here we are still. So thank you so much, you guys, for your loyalty and just enjoying the show as much as you have. It really means a lot to us. It's spreading the gospel.
I didn't even realize there was a second wave. I didn't even, but that said, I only just started watching One Piece, you guys. And I know this is not a One Piece panel, and I'm not in One Piece, and I've only been watching it for a week, and I'm already like at the end of the Arlong saga.
That's okay, Stephanie. I'm on One Piece, so you can root for me there.
Okay, awesome. My next question is, if your character spoke directly to young fans today, what message would you want to share?
Watch the show, don't watch the show, I don't care.
Don't smoke would be Asuma's.
Always remember, a hero is not one who never falls. They are the one who get up again and again, never losing sight of their dreams.
Madara has so many dark things that he says, but one of my favorite lines I like to give to little kids, it is, be strong enough to be someone who even the demons would fear. And I tell the kids, basically, be so badass that the monsters don't want to come out from under your bed.
Wow. Can we get a round of applause for that? That was really good. Awesome. Moving on to my final question. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask, you're going to stand right over here. See the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ed from Good Burger? Line up right where this mic is. And final question for you all. What is your character's go-to karaoke song?
Oh boy, now you gotta make it.
Madara's would be ZZ Top's I'm Bad, I'm Nationwide.
I think my guys would be Boogie Down, baby. Well, that's Kakashi's anyway.
Asuma's would be Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire.
Baby, come back. Any kind of fool can see I was in Sakura. You know? I mean, you know.
My Obito's would be the Rolling Stones' Wild Horses.
Nice.
Reen, I love you. I love you.
I might be getting this verse wrong, but isn't the Joni Mitchell song, the second verse is, I've looked at clouds from both sides now.
Nice.
Pretty good. That was really good. Thank you so much. Okay, I am ready. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I'm here because Neil asked me to be here.
Oh, nice.
Way to go, Neil.
I don't think I asked.
Just to be clear,
I think I told you.
you don't have to do what Neil Kaplan tells you to do. Just to be clear, you all can make decisions.
I just wanted to ask if any of you guys were gonna head to the Naruto meetup at 3:30 over at the steps at the front.
Group that is going to be there at 3:30 on the front steps.
That kind of thing, something like that.
Can you make it easier for us and meet where we're all signing?
Or come to us.
I mean, I'm always training, you know, but that's really far away from.
Yeah,
But if you guys switch location, we'd dig a picture, we'd do it.
I'm not in charge of it, but
all right.
I think if you tell everybody after you take the picture that Brian Donovan, Rock Lee, said everybody should go back there, I think they'll do it. And when we see the crowd, we'll join in.
There is one caveat. You have to Naruto run from wherever the meetup is all the way to the back where we're signing.
isn't it too hot for that?
I don't care.
It's too hot for this.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hi, welcome. My bad.
No, that was good. I like that. Welcome.
First off, I want to say it's a huge honor to meet all you guys. I grew up with your guys' anime, and to see you all in person, this is my first ever convention, so to see you guys,
Dude, I'm giving you a hug.
Welcome, brother. Dude.
Can we get a round of applause for that, you guys?
You just got COVID.
But it's a huge honor to meet all of you guys. It's so great to see. My question is actually for Neil, though.
Wait, I gave you the hug.
Well, the question has to involve you, actually.
Oh, okay.
If Madara was still alive during Boruto, and he had to take on the adult versions of the characters, who do you think would give him a challenge, knowing that Rock Lee trained under my guy and also has the 8 gates?
As far as I know, Madara Uchiha has only ever been defeated by a giant galactic marshmallow. So as long as that galactic marshmallow didn't show up in Boruto, it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
But which of the ants would give you a problem? Or would be the toughest ant to defeat in your...
Well, I think he might be talked into going out to lunch with Rock Lee. I think he would find his positivity too difficult to resist.
Okay. All right, well, thank you guys. Again, it was so...
Hi there.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. First of all, Naruto was my first anime ever, so this is like really crazy to me, but
It's all downhill from here.
and it's never ever been beat to me personally. That's just myself. My question is for Hinata. I feel like Hinata was a really strong character in the show, in the series, but I feel like she was underrated. I feel like she wasn't she wasn't as big as she should have been. So my question is, if you could do something with the character to like make her more represented, like what would you have done?
I mean, okay, so I don't have too much of a beef in the way she was represented in Naruto. I feel like they did that on purpose, like leave you wanting more. I probably shouldn't be saying this on a panel, but I take a little issue with how she's being portrayed in Boruto, because I feel like every single time we see her, she's like in the kitchen, like every single time, or waiting for her man to come home. And I'm like, she was like a badass fighter, like send her on some missions. So that would be my thing is more with like her and Boruto.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Just wanted to say, like others, like Naruto is my favorite anime of all time. So many characters resonated with me, like their stories, like Hinata, Rock Lee, Shikamaru, my God, everyone. My question was, do you have like a favorite, like behind the scenes, like while recording memories that like you still remember to this day?
I do. When I first came to do Minato, he was just a 6-line part in a video game. And we didn't do much with him. He just presented himself. But the next time he showed up, we did the scene where he reveals himself to Naruto in the game. And it was very emotional, to the point where if I knew I was doing the right job, I turned and Mary Elizabeth had a tear coming down her eye. Then when we did it in the anime, it was elevated 10 or 15 times. So that whole experience of doing that scene and feeling those emotions and quite frankly, getting my Luke, I am your father moment that I got to have was really cool, and I'll never forget that. It's special to me.
Yeah. You know, it's funny.
Push the button.
Thank you. It's Skip's first time at a mic.
Yeah. and I'm very quiet, so. For me, I was just talking to a fan out in the crowd, and he asked me kind of the same question, and I said, every time I went in the booth, it was awesome. It was a laugh fest for Mike Guy, because we clowned around a lot. And I remember the first time I said Kakashi, I just saw the feet go up in the air from the other side of the glass, because they were just looking for Kakashi, not Kakashi. And so we had tons of those kind of moments. So with Mike Guy, it was just so fun every single time. That every moment was fantastic, And you can't say about that with every job you work on. So it's pretty cool.
So I have a story that's behind the scenes of recording, but like when I first booked and got cast in the job, I hadn't recorded yet, and then I got jury duty. And I got jury duty, and and like I was like still pretty young in my career, and so it was like a big, like I knew how big the show was, right? And I hadn't recorded yet, and I got juried, and I got picked. I was in the jury box, and I was juror number 1. And they're going through and they're like asking questions and blah blah blah, and then I lost it, and this is, and I think people thought I was faking it, because when we went around and asked, you have to say your occupation, I said actress, and then somewhere in the questioning I just broke down and started sobbing, because I was terrified. I really thought that, like, oh my gosh, if I get, and it was a gang-related murder case, and I thought that, like, if I got put on the case, that they would just replace me, because I hadn't recorded a single session. Why wouldn't they replace me? And I freaked out. It was like a mess, and the judge was like, and he called me to the bench, and I was like, this is random, just like this show and Naruto, and I'm like, replace me. And then he was like, fine. He's like, I'm gonna do this one time. And he gave me a postponement, but I didn't have to do jury duty because of Naruto.
Nice. How is that not behind the scenes?
I mean, not of recording.
It's behind. You can't get much more behind the scenes than doing jury duty. Great story, by the way.
I got a good one. When I was hired to do only the silly side of Toby, when I first started working on the show, and I did that on and off for 7 years or something like that. And I was never told anything about. I didn't know the show. I didn't know the arc. The arc was sort of being revealed to us, or to me anyway, in real time. So I'd go in and read the pages that I had to read or whatever. And then sometimes you'd go in and do a video game, and you'd look Naruto. Sometimes you'd go in and you'd do a video game, and look Naruto, and you'd do and you'd get a bunch of story revealed to you. And one time I went in and the mask came off of a version of Toby that also wasn't me, and so it was like I don't get what's even happening here. But what I did get was that orange mask was my tie to the show, and it was gone. So I thought I asked, I was like, am I done after this? And the director was like, yeah, I think so. And I was sort of sulking in the booth. And the next line, or one of a line on a later page said Toby/Obito. And it was a dark line. And so I read it darkly to myself, thinking like, I could do that, you know? And sure enough, the director said, could you keep that voice up? You know, I put it down in like my version of Madara, right? And I said, yeah, I could do it. And they said, okay, do a couple lines. I did a couple lines. I went and took a break. I came back and they're like, okay, you're gonna be the unmasked Obito, adult Obito for the rest of the show. And that was another 5 years of work, which is like, that was not a planned thing. And this is, I swear, how I remember it. Maybe they had a plan that they never told me, but I didn't know I was dying. I didn't know I was gonna read the other character. And as far as I know, they didn't know me well enough to know that I had a deeper side to my range, because all they ever heard me do was this. You know, and so I was like, all right, this is great. So that's a behind the scenes here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hello.
Hi. Naruto happens to be my hyperfixation right now, so I was really curious if any one of your guys' characters were to be at today's convention, what panel would they like to go to out of today's list?
Side where it's cool.
Yeah, anything inside.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Inside.
And then,
No, I was going to say, I think that's our way of saying, we don't know what all the panels are.
Yeah.
there's a ton. Then my last question was, what was your favorite arc out of Naruto Shippuden 2 voice? Since most of you are Naruto Shippuden.
The one I'm in.
So that's the answer.
The Hidan Asuma arc, I think, is pretty awesome, and it comes pretty quick in the series. Like when we first start to realize just how lethal the Akatsuki are. Up to that point, you know, we hadn't really lost anybody in the show, and I think that was sort of the shot across the deck.
Wait, who did we lose?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. That arc was like the beginning of, this isn't Naruto anymore. This is Naruto Shippuden, you know, and the stakes are real, and people are gonna die now. And I think the person that shepherded us into that was none other than Asuma.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
14 years ago. Spoiler alert.
Right.
Thank you. Hello.
So I'm sure you guys, maybe some of you don't, it's painful, have watched the show yourselves after you finish recording everything.
Never.
And, well, maybe you're lucky now, maybe you're not. But regardless, has there ever, if you do watch it, has there ever been a moment where you're watching your own voice recordings and you're thinking to yourself, man, I could have delivered that way better? Or go back and you think, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done it like that.
I swear, I'm not saying it as a joke. I'm very critical of myself, so I tend to not watch because I'll sit and do that. Oh, I can't do that. I should have done that. So it's an actor's curse, unfortunately.
I think one of the frustrating things about dubbing anything is that each individual actor goes in separately. And so sometimes you don't have literally anything to work off of. It's not like you're having a conversation when you're recording your dialogue. It's like they cue you up to the time code, you do your line, And if there's nobody on either side of it recorded in English, you don't really have anybody to play off of. So sometimes you'll watch your work and you'll be like, oh, well, I didn't get the intention of that at all. Like when you hear the other actor in the scene, you're like, oh, okay, I completely misinterpreted it. And that's where a really good director comes in handy, because they really should know how to kind of shepherd, you toward the right intention of the scene. Like Mr. Tony Oliver would do if he was directing us.
Shameless plug, you'll get paid later.
Shameless plug, yeah.
I do have to say, to add to that, is my recollection of what we did in the booth. If I see it like on television or I catch an episode, I'm like, that's what I did? And sometimes I'm surprised in a good way, like, oh, that was an interesting choice. Like, but it's not what I recall. Like, I don't remember delivering it that way. I would have, laid money that I did it completely different. And then over time, like talking to fans and stuff like that, I think it gets exaggerated in my own mind a little bit too. Like the Hidan speech, because I've done it several times since doing conventions and stuff, and I've made it bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I went back and watched it, and it was like, oh, it's tiny. I do it like, I barely, the emotion in it is like from here to here, but it's so strong that way. But it's funny how you remember it completely different, So yeah, it's it's surreal to hear your own voice that way.
Also,
I loved everything I did. I never got tired of it. I wouldn't change a thing, like Brian.
I think it's interesting though. I think if you went back to the first couple episodes, or the first couple episodes of a character that you like or whatever, it doesn't really get in your DNA for a few episodes. And so, like, if I listen to the very beginning of Rock Lee, it's not quite there yet for the first episode or two. And so that's interesting. You go, oh yeah, it wasn't quite in my fibers yet, and so it's nice though to drop into it eventually, hopefully by the second or third episode. And then of course, and this has anything to do with your question, but it's such a luxury to work on a show for that long. I mean, it's such a gift, so that's nice too. I mean, when you start sleeping with your character, no.
Wait,
let me rephrase this. You start sleeping with your character's voice in your head. No. Anyway.
Do you have a Rock Lee pillow? Is that what you're telling us?
I do. It's one of those long ones that you put between your legs. Oh, no. Stop. Stop.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you guys had to do a voice in One Piece, what would you do?
Ask Hinata.
Well, if I had to do a voice on One Piece, I would be Saint Figurland Garling, the character I'm about to play on One Piece.
If I was in One Piece, I would play an older soccer referee, which is what I did in like 3 episodes.
I haven't seen enough of it. Right now they're having that. There's Nami, there's Kaya, there's Nami's sister, and then a bunch of like snotty-nosed kids. I'd probably like enjoy playing like a character like Nami more, but in reality, I'd probably get cast as like a Kaya, because that's like, usually people are like, oh, it's a soft, sweet, high-pitched girl, it's you, Stephanie.
Anyone else? No? Thank you.
Hey.
My question is for Minato. When you did the scene between Naruto and Minato meeting the first time, what was like the feeling of that moment when Naruto found out that his dad?
Yeah. It's the way you approach a character like that is to put yourself in that feeling as much as you can. So the experience for me was trying to experience I'm a father, and just trying to experience what it's like to be a dad and what that feeling is. If I was in that situation, that was my son. That's where I would go. So the memory is precious in that I'm feeling that. And also, it was a situation where the director, who was Mary Elizabeth McGlynn at that time, she would not let me get away with my bag of tricks. Every actor has a bag of tricks that we turn to. She wouldn't let me get away with that. We needed to be as real as we could be. And that process was a lot of fun. It was really hard. And to me, in acting, to me, hard is fun. So it was really difficult and really focused. And I remember as a great exercise in acting and a moment where I really enjoyed the craft that I get to play. Hope that helps.
Was there any moment of seeing a character that passed away that got you like, oh my god, this character is gone, maybe I wanna heal him?
Neji!
Sorry, anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, nice seeing you all again this year. What's your favorite episodes you were a part of in Naruto?
Yes.
So many. What's your favorite scene of ours?
Oh, it's so many. I
See, right? That's what I'm talking about.
I really like the tuning exams.
Yes,
I know
the
it's like
tuning
super
exams.
early on, but I
Rock
thought,
Lee and Gara?
there's like a lot of great battles in that.
Yeah. I'll answer. I don't drink, and so when I went in to do the Kimimaro Drunken Fist fight, Mary Elizabeth, the director who was mentioned, who's awesome, said, "Oh, you're drunk today," and I was like, "What?" Yeah, Rock Lee's drunk. It's such a great scene. It's so fun. You're gonna have a blast. And I got really nervous. I was like, what would Rock Lee do? I don't even know what I'm gonna do drunk. And so I started, and she goes, no, you're really drunk. Like, you can go crazy. And I was like, I need a minute. So I went out the booth for a minute or two, and I thought about all the drunk people I knew. I was like, all right, this will be fun. I can do this. And so I went back in the booth, and it was probably the most fun voiceover session I've ever had. So, yeah, and it just freed me up. And it's fun, too, because Rock Lee doesn't contract, right? Which is a very weird way of speaking. No one talks like that. And so it was the first and only episode, little trivia, where I contract and I can just, what are you looking at? Don't you know it's impolite to stare? It was just fun. It was a great session for me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello. My question is about, how Hashirama wanted to make Tobirama the second Hokage, but he at first wanted to make Madara the second Hokage before Madara went crazy. So my question is for Neil Kaplan, and I want to ask you, do you think Madara would have been, you can answer this as Madara or as yourself, but do you think Madara would have been a good Hokage or a better Hokage than Tobirama was? Because I know Tobirama did a lot for the village, but what do you think, would Madara have been better than Tobirama?
First of all, do me a favor, take a breath. There you go. I think Madara would tell you, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind, I would have been superior.
Yeah, my other question is about for Obito. So do you think, this is so random, but do you think that if Rin was alive and none of that bad stuff happened, do you think you would have been a better Hokage than Minato?
Hey now.
Yes. Frankly, yes, I do. It's hard to answer the question about yourself, which would have, I'd still be alive now too, which would be great. So yes, I'd like to say yes. But I love the fact that Obito never became Hokage, though he committed the act of the Hokage as his final act, which is the ultimate act of redemption, and that for me is the best ending I could have wished for, But I think he would have looked real nice carved out of stone.
Thank you so much.
Hello. I just want to say I've been to this convention a bunch of times, and every single time I've met Tom Gibis and Brian Donovan. So hi again.
Good to see you.
And I'll probably meet you again today or tomorrow.
Gotta keep the streak alive.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I just have a question for everyone. If you or your character was stranded on a deserted island, who or what would you bring? One thing or person?
The pillow, my pillow with my face on it. Dumplings! Dumplings.
I'm sure Asuma would say a lighter, a Zippo, or something like that. But if it was Konkuro, the puppet master, he'd just bring a knife so he could whittle himself a new puppet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I wouldn't bring anything because he can just sit and come back really fast
yeah.
and get things.
Right.
Shikamaru wouldn't bring anything because it'd be like, finally, peace. And quiet.
He'd just
No
be
one
staring
to
at the
annoy
clouds.
me.
He would just be staring at the clouds the entire time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I have like a random question. Do you guys like Fortnite?
Do you?
Heck yeah.
I couldn't tell.
I would guess any of the voice actors who had their Naruto characters on Fortnite are big fans.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Big fans. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Samantha!
Hi.
Hi. You got this. You got this. Remember, you're Rock Lee.
If you had a favorite, what is your favorite character except your character?
Guy Sensei.
Lee?
I have people ask me all the time on TikTok, and the answer is always the same. Sorry, everybody else. My favorite character is Rock Lee. I love his positivity, but the fact of it is, ain't nobody walking this planet who could play that part better than Brian Donovan.
Thank you, man. Thanks. Except Samantha. Samantha could walk the earth playing Rock Lee. It's true. Great to see you.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hey.
So my question is, what is your opinion on your own character's design?
Design?
Like the character design.
I love Shikamaru's design, especially in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. I am not a big fan of Blue Vortex right now with Boruto, the way they're doing the art in the manga. I don't know. I just go, that guy is ugly. But I think he's so young and handsome as a kid, and then as a young adult, I think he's got a good look. And then, I don't know, the Blue Vortex look is very scary.
I have to say one thing, and somebody was cosplayed as a Hidden Leaf villager, and it's the whole open toe thing. I feel like I would just really bust up my piggies if I was going toe to toe with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Toe to toe with somebody.
Toe to toe. So besides that, I think Asuma's pretty dope. He's pretty awesome. Yeah.
My only note for Hinata would be, I think her boobs could be a little bit smaller.
You gotta gasp.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. If you guys could choose one current voice actor to replace yourself as your character, who would you choose?
Neil Kaplan.
Skip does a great Rock Lee.
I would do it, but it's so painful.
It is. It's painful.
I'll give you a shot.
I'll be honest with you.
All right,
I
go
think
for
it's
it.
really tough to find a voice actor saying, "This is who should replace me."
I'm Rock Lee, the handsome devil of the Hidden Leaf.
Oh yeah! What a drag. Here I'm gonna tell you a story. It's very quick. The life cycle of an actor. You ready? It's 5 stages. Who's Brian Donovan? Let's try Brian Donovan. Get me Brian Donovan. Get me a Brian Donovan type. Who's Brian Donovan? That is the life cycle of an actor. So no actor would willingly say, Gee, I wonder who should replace me. But anyway, thanks. Great question.
No actor will replace us ever. Only AI is going to replace every single one of us on this panel.
Boo is right. Boo, that's right. Human connection.
It's gonna happen.
You boo, but there's an account on Instagram that has stolen my voice and uses an AI. The guy writes out his own stuff, his own fanfic, and has a terrible AI doing Obito's voice. And I've tried. You guys can try, but the thing that breaks my heart the most is the people that go to his account and go, Madara spits truth. And I'll write, it's not Madara's voice. Yeah, whatever, old man.
That was me that wrote that. Sorry.
This will be our
Last question. I'm about to.
No pressure.
Everyone's about to fight. So I like to imagine Shikamaru as the smartest. Who is the second smartest in the whole series?
second smartest in the whole series, apart from Shikamaru.
It's got to be his mentor.
Neil Kaplan. No.
Neil Kaplan. I'm not going to argue. I was going to say Mike Guy.
Well, he is a genius, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
True. We can do a quick lightning round if they want to do like quickies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to leave anybody.
Hello.
Hey.
My name is Shivani.
Yep.
My favorite is Madara.
Oh, come on, dude. Seriously?
And Shikamaru too. Okay,
Whatever.
My question for Madara though is, what do you think his favorite color would be, or favorite food? If you know.
I have absolutely no idea, my friend. So I'll say, an excellent question, which has absolutely stunned me. That's the best I could do, man. I don't know what he likes.
All right. Nice job. Speed round.
Real quick.
I'll make this quick.
Thank you.
First of all, I love you, Brian. And this is my first ever convention center as well. It's an honor to meet all of you.
Ah, nice.
It's an honor, a huge honor. But my question to all of you is what is the most hardest line you guys ever done?
You've ever done?
Yeah.
Last line.
I can't say it. It's the dance howl level. So he calls out this long thing that they gave me a second and a half for 30 words.
Oh, you know what? The games are really hard because they're timed. And like, I have to say 8 trigrams, 64 palms in like under a second.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say that super fast. There's too many words.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'll say too, like I was, most of us are very, very quick, especially as the years go on, right? You get in the session, you knock them out. But whenever it came to a Japanese word and you needed to pronounce it absolutely perfectly, my sessions would literally go like this. Woo! And it would just crash and burn. And I would spend 10 minutes sometimes trying to get the pronunciation correctly. I have no ear for that stuff. And so that was really, really hard. Those were always super frustrating and just like, you just felt like such a failure,
We'd like to have you come back in and do it again, Brian.
Yeah.
So they'd have a whole other session because you think you got it.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, no, they decided to change it.
Yeah.
You'd have to do it all over again.
And they'd almost always be in a huge paragraph, right? So there was no cheating. It wasn't like you could just say the word. It was always like, blah, 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 blah.
The Akatsuki was one of the ones that was like, because if you read it, it looks like Akatsuki, maybe? And then, it would come up and then you'd be in the middle of a paragraph and it's like, some of the Akatsuki are planning whatever. And I did a lot of explanation as Shikamaru Nara. I did a lot of exposition.
Because you're the smart one.
And I was like, oh my God, if I have to say Akatsuki one more time. And then I get fans that come up and go, you said that wrong. That's not how it's pronounced. And I'm like, there was like 9 people that made this decision and I was not one of them.
Yeah. Anyway,
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out in this heat. Oh, my gosh.
Thanks, everybody.
I truly appreciate it. For our cast, can you let everyone know where they can find you at the convention and online?
Yes.
We're parked in a van in the back corner over here.
Down the van by the river.
No, we are. We actually are. We are under tents in this back parking lot over
Back
there.
corner.
So
Come
please
and
come and
find
visit
us.
us. Naruto, run over there for us, and
Yes.
we'd love to chat with all of you. We've met a bunch of you already, so
Awesome. And can we get one more big round of applause for the cast of Naruto?
Thank you so much.
I've been your moderator, Michelle Maka, and enjoy the rest of the convention.
Thank you guys.
Here, we're gonna take a picture from up here if you guys want to be in it.
I always forget to take pictures.